let's continue on with the final experiment. If you are okay with that, would you like to talk about the final experiment?
Sure. So let me ask you a question. Will came out of nowhere, right? He's a pastor, right? And if you know anything about, psyops, they put people in positions that are the opposite of what they're actually doing. Priests are doing unimaginable things, right? You have, the CPS doing exactly what they're supposed to be preventing. And I don't know about Will, but he says that he's going to send one Glober and one flat earther and himself to Antarctica. But then Jaron and Austin said they don't want to go alone. So he says, okay, I'll send two of you, but then I can't go because my wife doesn't want me to spend that money. My wife, it's another $30 or $40,000, right? So, okay, that's interesting, So he's concerned about that. Now let's look into his life, right? Back on November 9th of 2021, he had a lawsuit against him for unsuitable investment and breach of fiduciary duty, and he settled for $10,100 out of a $218,000 lawsuit. Okay, so people make mistakes. Well, here's another one. This one's from 9/16/2022, not that long ago. Negligence, professional negligence, violations of law, unsuitable recommendations, breach of contract, breach of fiduciary duty, breach of securities laws and regulations, and he settled for $225,000 out of his own pocket. Ouch. Ouch. All right. Let's look at another one. This one's from 4/19/20 April of 2024, right? Breach of written contract, breach of fiduciary duty, failure to supervise, negligence and gross negligence, misrepresentations and omissions, violations, FINRA, that's the agency that's coming after him, violations of federal securities laws, violations of California, Colorado Securities Act, violations of the Investment Advisors Act, 1940, violations, regulation bill, whatever that says. So that one's pending. He's got these pending charges from April, and he pops up on the scene. All he cares about is settling this flat earth debate. To me, I see that's a huge problem. But then just the other day, June 6th, this one pops up. Violations of, and by the way, the SEC is after him, so that last one could come with jail terms. Okay. Violations of federal securities laws, violations of the Colorado Securities Act, breach of contract, common law, fraud, breach of fiduciary duty. This is a bad guy. Negligence and gross negligence. Am I saying that right? Negligence. $135,000. He's worried about an extra ticket to Antarctica. He's got this. I'd like to talk to his wife, how she feels about that. And then 6/11, unsuitable investments, violation of federal securities laws, fraud in other sales securities, fraud in connection with the purchase and sale securities, violations of the Colorado Securities Act, so Colorado's after him, violations, California's after him, unfair, lawful, and fraudulent business practices, misrepresentations and omissions of material fact, breach of contract, common law, fraud, breach of fiduciary duty, negligence, and gross negligence, $360,000. He's got $500,000 of fines and jail terms on his neck, but all he cares about is the final experiment, and he can't afford an extra ticket because that's going to break him, right? He says he's got all this great money. He made money because he did well in the financial world. He's only had his license for a few years. He's got all of these charges against him, and I guarantee there's more charges coming. Give it another couple of days or weeks, and I bet you this list piles up to more than 5. So he comes out. Oh, is that not showing? Am I not showing? Why isn't that showing? Damn it! I actually was showing that while
What are you not showing? I see your
let me just
background. I mean, I see your
yeah,
background
no,
here.
I get it. This is, there you go. So I'll just go back a little bit here. So here is the first one. 200. He settled for $10,000, and then this one that I read to you. He paid $225,000 out of his own pocket. Right. This one is still pending. This one, $135,000 is what they're asking for, and then this one is $360,000. I just read those to you. So all of that is pending, and all he cares about is settling the flat Earth, globe Earth debate. Now, if you know anything about crisis actors, shills, like Bob the Science Guy, he had charges because he was a doctor. He was prescribing to women in trade for blowjobs, right? He was about to go to jail. Charges disappear on the scene. He's Bob the Science Guy. He's going to debunk flat Earth. What happened to those charges, right? Maybe speculation, I don't know, is doing some sort of deal to get out of this trouble, but they're piling on. Like this is just from this last in June, all right? So shouldn't he be putting all of his resources, all of his efforts into staying out of jail and paying his lawyer rather than sending some guys to Antarctica to look up at the sky to see a light that isn't going to prove anything, right? So the other thing is proving the sky, the light in the sky, if it goes around. Now, we know as flat earthers that the sun does not circle around. We've had, it's not, and also the final experiment, that is an obnoxious title. It's not a final experiment. It's not even an experiment, right? You want to really do something? Instead of freezing your ass off for 5 days trying to film the sun at midnight, why don't you just fly from Santiago around the edge of Antarctica and go over to Australia, right? Do that in 1 day. Why does he do that? Right? That would be interesting. And here's my prediction of what's going to happen. Right? Now, people talk about the sun simulator and they're like, that's bullshit. I agree. I believe that the sun simulator that they showed us is not floating in the sky. But I do also believe with great certainty that they can project a bright light in the sky. Now, the sun, when it's low in the horizon, again, you're looking through all the atmosphere, there's always haze. There's always clouds, always. So the part where the sun has to go around behind them at midnight, it would be very, very low in the sky. And if it's behind clouds and they're projecting a bright light, and we all go, no, that doesn't look like the sun. It's bright. The sky is lit. We know it's lit because of the coffee cup caustic. We understand that because we've been looking into this for years. But the mainstream media will run flat earthers prove the globe and don't like the results because even though they filmed it themselves, the sky was lit. The sun was behind the clouds, but they say it's not the sun, that it was a fake sun, right? And that's true, but they're going to run with that worldwide and we'll have no say because the mainstream media, that's all they're going to carry. And they'll say flat earthers prove it, but deny the results. Then the day that they leave, William Shatner, the liar who went up to fake space, doing it for money, Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye will go there and they'll claim that they saw it also. Meanwhile, we've had people working in Antarctica for 6 months, better part of a year, that say they never saw the midnight sun. Now, the sky is lit, but try explaining that to a normie that thinks flat earth is stupid. They won't understand how the sky could be lit on a flat earth with the sun on the other side of the world. They don't understand the optics of the sky. So the guy, just backing up, the guy's a complete and total fraud. And just the fact with all those charges against him and he's focused on this shows you he's up to no good. He's up to absolute no good. So when people say, Dave, why did you turn down a free trip to Antarctica? Because I'm not going there to freeze my ass off. I don't have the time to get away. I have plenty that I need to do here every single day. And I don't believe that any of that's true. Why would they fake a 24-hour sun in the videos that they fake them in, right? And just the other day, McToon showed a video of the 24-hour sun. Let me show you which video he showed. And how stupid it is. It's absolutely insanely stupid. So let me just pull this up. This is the video that McToon brought up. Said, oh, look, there's the 24-hour sun. I made this video. I added 2 more suns, right? This is his proof. I don't get $80 million a day. I get zero, right? I did this. So that's his proof. His proof is nonsense. But if they see a bright spot in the sky behind clouds, they are going to claim victory no matter what we say. Even if we agree ahead of time that if we don't see a crisp, clear sun, if we don't see a crisp, clear sun, that it doesn't prove flat Earth. That's what they're going to run with. And you have to trust Will. If he agrees, like, yeah, I'll agree that that doesn't prove. They're going to run with that story. Why wouldn't they? Right now, think about this. We know that the globe lie is the most important lie that they have out there, right? Do you not think that they're going to lie? Do you not think that they're going to pull some shenanigans? And this guy, this fraud, this financial fraud that's in huge trouble, and people say that he's a millionaire, he's a billionaire, whatever, and he kind of ran with that story. Meanwhile, he invites Joe Hill down there to debate McToon at his church, and they paid for Joe's hotel, but his credit card bounced. Okay, what's up with that? Right? Like, I think this guy is on the brink of disaster, of losing his entire life, and he is desperate. This is my opinion. To work his way out of this shenanigans that he's in, and he's full of it. So there you go.
Okay. So, what are your suggestions for anybody who might be interested within the flat Earth side who is being offered a ticket to go to
Yeah.
Union Glacier Base down there? Like, would you suggest that nobody should go and
No, see,
accept this free ticket?
yeah. So they're trying to put us through between a rock and a hard place. Where if we don't go, then they're going to claim victory. Oh, flat earthers are afraid, and they'll just be like, they're afraid. We're just going to go, and we filmed it ourselves. But I think if we go, it could be, they could just take our video and say that we're denying reality, because a bright sun, a bright light behind the clouds with a lit sky, they'll claim victory. They don't care what we say. They'll claim victory. So I don't know the answer. I think that this guy Will should be called out for these charges against him, and people that see that that this is going on in his life, and all he's doing right now is talking about. He has to pay another $500,000 in fines. Well, you're rich. Just why don't you pay for that extra ticket? I think it's bullshit. I think that I think that we when I first got his emails, when he was teasing it, I ignored the first one. Second one came. I said, what's this about? He goes, you're going to learn soon enough. I said, take me off your list. I want nothing to do with this. And then when I found out it was him, I said, I want nothing to do with him, because in my eyes, he's a demon. Think of his discernment. His buddy is McToon. Okay. We all know what McToon is, right? His good buddy is McToon. All right. That's his discernment. The guy has no discernment. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's under serious allegations. He could be going to jail. He's paying millions of dollars in fines, and there's probably more coming. And all he cares about is settling this debate. Bullshit. He's a liar, a deceiver. And I believe that, my opinion is that this whole thing with Neil deGrasse going and William Shatner and Bill Nye, the day after they leave, why not, why, if they crossed over, if they're there without us, they can claim anything they want. That's another issue. And they're going to get special access to an area where they can fake some other. How hard is it to fake a video of them filming the sun down there? Maybe they'll film one with a really crisp, clear, sharp sun. Like, you should have stayed one more day. And another thing is, they're arriving on December 14th. The elite love that date. What happened on December 14th in 2014 or whatever the year was, right? At that school in Connecticut, December 14th. There's several things that have happened. It's one of their special days, like 9/11, right? So maybe that's just a coincidence. But all of these things adding up say this is going to be a massive deception, and it's a bunch of bullshit. And then I want to point out one other thing. Jaron is so confident that there'll be no sun going behind his head around the south. And I agree, there's not. I think he misspoke when he said, then, the globe makes more sense. I don't think he meant to say he believes in the globe. He's going to say, there's a problem with our model. I have to figure out what it means, but it doesn't get rid of the no curvature. It doesn't get rid of all of the other heliocentric stuff that we've disproven. It doesn't get rid of it, but it causes a problem if there's a real sun that goes by there. But could they fake it? They got friggin' dinosaurs and dragons and cities floating in the sky. You don't think they could put a bright light behind the clouds in Antarctica? And maybe in Antarctica, it's even easier because maybe they're close to a dome. Maybe, right? But they're because there's so few people down there, maybe they can have this elaborate setup and make it look really good. Maybe. But again, it's not an experiment. It's stupid, right? Fly people from Santiago to Antarctica, prove you're in Antarctica, take off again, follow the coast for 8 hours, and then fly to Australia, which would take you another couple hours. All right. They can't do that. They can't do that because we don't live on a spinning, stupid globe. There you go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that, and I appreciate your views, Dave. But so I guess my opinion on the matter is that Jaron can probably speak for himself, but you've known Jaron very closely, and you probably knew that he didn't actually mean that it's gonna be more on the globe side or whatnot, right? But it's just that
No,
maybe he just misspoke, as you said.
It is more on the globe
I'm
side.
sorry. Go
I
ahead.
agree with that. It is more on the globe side. If we see a sun going around, that matches the globe model more than it matches the flat Earth model. The flat Earth model really doesn't have a good explanation for that, and the globe model does. Does that make the Earth a globe? No, because one, first you have to verify. Was that real? What did we see? Maybe there's another explanation. But it doesn't get rid of the no curvature. It doesn't get rid of the no motion. It doesn't get rid of all of the other proofs that the Earth is a level stationary plane, right? It's an issue, but I think he's so confident that if they try to fake it, he'll be able to expose it. but if there's a bright light in the sky and the sky stays lit, doesn't matter what we say. They're going to run with the story. Flat earthers prove the globe and don't like the result, even though they filmed it themselves.
Okay, but don't you think, Dave, that at this point, with all the hype around the final experiment and this conversation about Jaron and Whitsitt potentially going down to Antarctica, that to go is kind of damning, and to not to go is also equally damning, if not worse, right? Because then we're playing a game of chicken, right? And then they will claim, well, the flat earthers are not going to follow through with it because they're afraid to see the results, right? So, how do we navigate, do you think, as a quote unquote flat Earth community around this topic?
I just think that with all these charges against Will and him being a fraudster and a liar, that people have to realize that he's up to no good and he can't be trusted, and walk away from the whole thing. That's what I think, because they'll try to film some stuff, but at least they can't say flat earthers filmed it and denied it. They could say, "Oh, we filmed it," and but the thing is, people have been going to Antarctica for decades. No one has seen the 24-hour sun, but he's going to see it this time. I don't think so. I think it's a massive deception, and that he's the fact that he named it the final experiment. This isn't him. This is not his doings, in my opinion. This is not him. He'll just claim it is, and he just wants to put an end to it, and he'll become a flat earther if the sun sets. Bullshit. It's bullshit.
Okay, so I mean, you're friends with Jaron. Have you suggested to Jaron that he should not go? And Whitsitt as well. I mean, you definitely spoke to just about everybody within the flat Earth community who is anybody. So have you told everybody that you don't believe in the final experiment, and then nobody should be a participant of it? Is
Well,
that
his
because that's how
opinion
you
is,
feel about it, basically, right?
yeah. Well, that's my opinion, and he doesn't have to listen to it. But he feels that if they try to fake it, he'll be able to show that it's fake. You know, they have infrared cameras and everything. But what he doesn't realize is it's friggin' cold. It's going to be like 30 below zero, and cameras and like I don't like 95% of your battery disappears. So what's he going to bring? 50 friggin' batteries down there and warmers and stuff. He's going to have to spend 50 grand, 100 grand and batteries. He's not going to have the right equipment to document it. But Dave McKeegan, he will. He'll film it. And they'll say, look, that's the sun right there because it should have gone right here. And it did go right there. You know, it's they'll project the sun right where it's supposed to be if the earth was a globe. And it's not about putting a simulator up there. It's putting a spotlight up there, right? Maybe they do it from a helicopter. Maybe they do it with a hologram or whatever. To think that they don't have that technology to put a bright spot in the sky, that's ridiculous. That's not even a conspiracy theory. That's easy. And the sky, and they don't need it to light up the sky because the sky will already be lit, right? But try explaining that to a normie. They won't get it. They'll be like, it's because the earth is a globe.
Okay. Yeah. So anything else that you want to say about the final experiment and Will Duffy and like obviously you have your opinion that this guy is not really credible. He's not really trustworthy, and there is probably something nefarious that we are not fully aware of. Obviously, up front, Will Duffy is saying that he really just wants to know, and this is one of the ways to know whether or not the Earth is actually a globe or a flat Earth model. And a lot of people are saying this is what is called a false dichotomy. So like it's like kind of like, and some people also feel that this is kind of how would I say, like a distraction of sort. But
It's a
how do
huge
we get away
distraction.
from this topic? Because yeah, yeah. But like a lot of people, including myself, have immersed our time and attention to look into Will Duffy and who he is associated with, and what kind of a past he has. And I think more information will be coming out.
Absolutely. And just going back to those charges against him, do you find it weird that this guy has massive charges that come with jail time and, another $500,000 in charges, and all he cares about is the final experiment? That is not reality. That is not what happens. He should be working with his lawyer. He should be saving his money to keep himself out of jail, but he's not. Okay. If someone can't see through that and see that there's a massive, massive deception going on, you're blind. You don't understand it. Do you agree that it's weird that he's doing this with all these charges against him and more coming?
I think it. Well, even without the charges, I think I found it to be weird. I mean, without all this additional
How about
information about his past, being a part of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
how about with the charges?
Yeah, that adds to it, but I already felt it was weird without it. It was what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
yeah,
I
it's
get it.
even more weird with the charges.
It,
Yeah, yeah.
it's impossible with the charges. Nobody with those charges decides to take on a pet project like this. He's spending all of his time on it, and just use your God-given common senses. When this guy talks, the way he has that duping delight, the way he talks, the what he says, he is, in my opinion, full of bullshit.